It's Saturday, May 11th here at the West End Gun Club. It's kind of sort of raining right now. I'm underneath some trees, but they're predicting some random showers and thunderstorms throughout the day, I think for California. But I decided to come out to West End Gun Club on Saturday morning because the weather looked relatively decent aside from the rain. It should be pretty low wind. So I figured I'll just come out here and do some practice because I wanted to try some tripod shooting as well as some support side shooting. So I'm right-handed. I want to shoot some left-handed bolt action because whenever I try to shoot left-handed, if I show up to a random match, which is very uncommon, but whenever they ask us, they have a stage of fire that makes you shoot with your support side or your off side, it just goes pretty badly for me. I'm just struggling, so I kind of want to just get some repetitions in there and just trying to get my form down because I just can't shoot with my left hand bolt action. So try to do some of that today. So it should be a pretty casual morning right now, or today, and right now it's pretty quiet. It's just after 6 o'clock. I think there's an IPSEC match or an IDPA match going on today, so the pistol base should get pretty busy in a couple hours, and I figure the main line will get pretty busy once the range officers show up to open up the main line for all the limited shooters. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and unpack all the gear and get set up.
Faded in this dark and smoky room, with your face reflecting bright green, brights and blues. You know I kinda want to disappear with you, but I don't think that is what I would usually do. You know it's just like I felt the heat the moment he pressed his lips up against mine. Don't wanna fuck this whole thing up like I do every time. Fire is burning through this silence. I can't take it, can't control this flame we started.
I'm moving kind of gimpy today. I went to the gym on Wednesday and did a lot of legs, but I don't know, for some reason it hit me on Friday afternoon. It just started aching. My leg muscles, like my quads. So, I don't know, I took an Advil this morning. Hopefully it helps me make me feel better. But the fog's kind of rolling in right now. It's low fog, but I don't think I'm going to put out paper because it's so humid that my target's probably going to get all soaked. But I got plenty of steel. And we're going to shoot this old rifle match that I've been shooting, or I used in the past couple range vlogs that I found out that shoots a little hotter than the new stuff, the new production rifle match. So I'm going to use it all up out here on the steel targets. I set up some steel, my KYL spinning targets at roughly 27, 28 yards. I've set up some steel plates at 50 yards and another set at 65, although I brought the wrong hanger when I walked out there, so I need to, because one of the hangers only has one hook on it, so I have another hanger that has 2 hooks. When I go out there to repaint, I'll go ahead and swap out and add that 4th target that I wanted to put out there at the 65, because I have 3 targets at 65, roughly 65 yards. But it kind of sucks here when you're shooting on this at the Rimfire range here at West End Gun Club, because it's all at angle or different elevations. So once you get past 50, 65 is about 10 feet up in the air, and then it keeps getting higher and higher once you get to 75, 85, and 100. I wish they graded to a flat range. I can understand why they did that for their silhouette shooting, but and I'm not sure how much work it's going to be to actually kind of excavate that area and dig it all out, but it'd be nice if they made that into a flat area. It'd be kind of cool. At least up to 75, or at least lower the shelves at which the target area increases at. So maybe make it a little lower at 75 or 65, make it 4 feet higher. So at least it's just not extreme angles when we're shooting from prone position out here. And I actually need to get some hearing protection. So on this KYL rack, we're shooting pretty well, 25 yards. Shooting higher than my point of aim. But granted, I do have a 50-yard zero, and this rifle match does shoot higher than normal, than the new production rifle match. Yeah, shooting this KYL rack with the CZ455 is pretty simple. 25 or 27 yards. It's pretty easy. I guess to make it more challenging, you probably want to set it at 35 or even 50, but I guess it would make sense at 50. The smallest KYL target here is a 1/4 inch. Yeah, it's too easy. It's also tracking target with my left eye. It's just awkward. Yeah. Punched out those KYL targets to another yard or two, just to make it a little bit more difficult, even if it's not much. Oh, see, I missed the KYL. I missed a small one. I barely hit. That counts. Maybe. Feels so awkward shooting with the left hand, making those transitions, moving the bag around, trying to squeeze the bag with the right hand. Since we're shooting an incline now, I have to adjust my bipod legs. And I think I have to max out my bipod here. That's why I don't like shooting prone at this rimfire range, because you're shooting at that incline. .65. Oh, the wind's starting to pick up now. It's all good. Might have to get my hat. We're missing. Oh, idiot. Probably would help if you actually made an elevation adjustment.
wind's starting to pick up a little bit. Probably can hear on the microphone because I don't have my windscreen on it right now. Probably have to grab it out of my camera bag. But here we go as far as the 65-yard targets. Pretty easy to hit right now. It's easy. We're gonna go and just spray them down here real quick. If my shit, this thing's clogged. That's clogged. That's why it's getting all over my finger. That's worthless. I don't have another white primer can left. So I think we're stuck shooting steel with no paint. So according to the Kestrel, if I go by this data here, I need 0.87, so about 0.8 of a mil to make it to 75, which may or may not be accurate. And I think my bag is too thick for this. Go find the target. See, that's the problem with this elevation here. It's hard to get the rifle up. Oh, that was easy. So 100 yards, I need, wow, 195. So 1.9. Let's try 1.8. Just parallax. Yep, actually low, so let's try 1.9. That's actually pretty easy, actually, 100 yards. I'm shooting a lot better with this Harris, or the Atlas bipod. In the last vlog I said that the Atlas, I'm liking a lot better than the Harris, and from prone it definitely feels a lot better. So I'm using this really thin tab gear bag. It's more for I bought it mainly for a forearm bag, but it's too wide for that type of thing. And it's too flat for sort of much prone use, but in cases like this, where the elevation of your target's so high and you need to get the buttstock down, it's better for this. So, I mean, if you buy bags for your guns, like shooting bags, you end up buying a lot because there is really no perfect bag for all situations. This is really good. I mean, this is very versatile, but still, in cases like this, it's not ideal. So you're gonna end up collecting bags if you shoot a lot. So if I remember correctly, what did I need? I needed 0.8 and then 2. So let's try, sorry, 0.9 and 2, it's 0.8, 2. 0.8 and 2.0. I like that I can hear the steel targets. The JC steel targets make a nice sound with Rimfire. So even though I don't have paint on them, I can still hear them. God, it's so easy. All right, let's try to switch some of the offhand, which is where my struggles are. God, it just feels so weird trying to shoot with my left eye and trying to get eye lead from the scope. And not to mention the focus of my reticle is changing with my left eye, so it doesn't even look clear. So it's very, very difficult.
This sun's in my eye, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab my target and put it right here. So 0.8, I think I said. 0.9, let's try 0.9 again. We hunt for the target, bolt on. Squeeze the bag, elevation, clean hit, search, 2 mils. Oh, high, but I hit it. Drop down to 0.8, 0.9. Squeeze the bag. Center up. Preload. Cool. Impact is getting higher now, so let's drop 1.9. All right. 0.8. 0.8. 0.8. Search the target, locate, preload. Close the bolt, obviously. Hit. So 0.4. I need 0.4. 0.4.9, 0.4.8 and 1.9. 4.8, 1.9. Two. Okay. Feels a little better, but at the same time still awkward. Just making those transitions, trying to find the bag. God, my cheek glow feels so weird. Shooting with my left eye. So I'm using 0.48 for 65. So 0.4 for 65. I'm using 0.9 for 75. I'm using 1.9 for 100. Maybe 1.5 is accurate for 90. Looks like the ballistics data today are dead on for this rifle match. Pretty much off of 50 yard zero, the rifle match is actually shooting dead on with, I think the velocity I put in here was 1085. I think that stuff is shooting at 1100 though. But I'm using roughly 0.4 for 65, which here it says 0.48. 75 it says 0.87, but I'm using 0.9. 90 yards is 1.5 and I use 1.5, and 100 yards is 1.96 and I'm using 1.9. So it's relatively accurate as far as the Kestrel is concerned. And again, this is a Kestrel 5700 Elite. This has got the Elite ballistics from Applied Ballistics.
It's got their ballistic calculator built in. I was thinking about writing a review on this thing, but I don't know. There's lots of better shooters have already written articles about how to use a Kestrel and a ballistic calculator, so I don't even know if I'm going to bother. I might just talk about it in the context of why I bought it, and that'll be more interesting considering I used to use pre-printed hard cards. I would just use JBM Ballistics, which is the most well-known ballistic calculator out there. It's been around for years. You could just plug in your data. It's free to use. It's on the web. And I just used various density altitudes. So I have one rifle or whatever, one load. Let's say it's my 6 Creedmoor at 3,100 feet per second. I'll use that chart, right? I'll use that data, but then I'll build like 8 or 9 charts, all with different density altitudes from like -2,000 all the way to 7,000 foot density altitude in 1,000 increments. And I'll just have that printed on a sheet, right? And I'll just carry that with me. But what ends up happening is I just forget to bring it. I don't keep it in a notebook, or I lose it because it's a piece of paper and, I don't know, flies away in the wind at the range or something, and I just don't realize it, or I just lose it somewhere in the Jeep or in the car or whatever, and it gets thrown away. So I figured that's why I bought this thing. That's kind of the short story. It's just easier to have this on here, the ballistic calculator. And I don't need to carry like a density altitude chart or have a different chart for different density altitudes, because this is all based on exact current conditions. So that's cool. $700 cool? I don't know, but it's cool. I mean, that's how much they run for right now. It's like $700 with the Bluetooth. You can get it without Bluetooth, but you kind of want the Bluetooth so you can move the data from the phone to your Kestrel and vice versa. For those that don't know the tripod that I'm using, it's basically this Enduro. I think it's an Enduro Stealth that I got on the cheap. I think it was on clearance or something because they discontinued the model. It's a carbon fiber. It's all right. The head is a Really Right Stuff BH55 ball head, which isn't ideal for shooting, but people adapted these ball heads for shooting simply because the torsional load on this ball head is incredibly good compared to your standard ball heads, especially like Manfrottos, like consumer grade Manfrottos. It's like the Manfrottos that you get, those tripods, like $200, $250. They don't have the load capacity that the BH55 does. I mean, you can pretty much, this is dead rock solid. I mean, even if you have all the weight, like if you have this farther down the forend and the whole rifle is weighing back like a full like centerfire gun, it's not going to move. And that's what people liked about this. But it's got too many knobs on it, and it's a photography bipod, and that's why I bought it too, partially because I shoot, I do photography when I get a chance. And so it made sense to get the Really Rich Stuff BH55. But now that they have that Anvil 30, I recommend anyone who's buying a tripod strictly for shooting purposes, like firearms, to just get the Really Right Stuff Anvil 30. That's just the way to go. I'm thinking about getting one for myself. They're cheaper than the BH55, so it's better for shooters. So if you're looking to get a tripod strictly for firearms use, that Anvil 30 ball head from Really Right Stuff, I recommend it. It's got like basically one knob to control the adjustment, and it's got one quick release clamp. Just walking out to grab my steel targets because I'm done shooting for the day. Shot a few hundred rounds here and there. As you can see here, just walking out to the top berms. See some interesting clouds coming up here on the ridge. That's really cool. That is weird. Anyway, just walking up to grab this thing, but I think I'll look at the 100 one first. If you can see the one at the 90, it fell over. Oh, it's so hard to get up here too because this dirt's so soft. Yeah, this target came out of the ground. Basically, just cammed over, but grab that. Just to take a quick look at the 100-yard steel, which is probably interesting. For the most part, you know, I was shooting off prone and then tripod, and when I was shooting prone, it was all just holding in the center here. It was holding pretty tight, and then yeah, then obviously on the outer edges, that's me trying to shoot off the tripod and just trying to hold. I want to say this is about a 5-inch plate, 5-inch plate, 6-inch plate, 5-inch plate. But yeah, just clicked all my gear so I can get out of here. Packed up all my gear, about to get out of here, sitting in the Jeep because it's too loud to record outside right now. A lot of gunfire going on, obviously, because it's Saturday morning at the range. Got in some good shooting today. The weather was really good. It wasn't cold at all and actually got kind of warm. Even though it was heavy overcast and it was kind of drizzling, it wasn't cold at all. And then the wind was non-existent, maybe 2 to 3 miles an hour, 2 to 3. And got some great shooting in, was able to practice a little bit. Offhand shooting, support side shooting, because I'm a right-hander and I need to practice shooting left-handed with a bolt. It's just so awkward, but I need to keep trying it out just so I get used to it. Tripod shooting, and then shooting some of the 10-22. But all in all, a good day of shooting. I'm glad I came out today, even though I don't usually come out on Saturdays, but I'm glad I came out today. Got some good trigger time in. Anyway, as far as stuff that's going on right now, not much really as far as firearms are concerned. I'm not sure what my next project's going to be still. I have money to spend on other things, like obviously the Jeep. I'm trying to save up for the lift kit and the wheels and the tires, which is going to probably cost me a good $6,000 or $7,000, and that's even if I do my own work. Not counting tire balancing and the alignment. I'll have to have somebody do that for me, but lift, tires, wheels, front drive shaft, yeah, it's going to cost me pretty penny, so that's good. That's a pretty nice gun, an optic, if you were to put all that money towards that, but want to get that thing going. So I don't think I'm really going to build a new rifle this year as much as I'd like to. I'm not going to, so that's that. Still pondering the Glock 26, getting an RMR for that, so that's probably something on my plate as far as things to do, and that's kind of it. I did get a new computer recently. I got a Mac Mini 2018. I'm a big Mac person. I switched to OS 10 a long time ago, so back in 2002 when 10.1, 2002, 2003, when OS 10.1 came out. 10.0 sucked, too buggy. Then 10.1 came out, and then I just realized that why am I using Windows and Linux dual boot when I can just use Mac OS, which is just significantly better. So been using Mac OS ever since. It is more expensive than running Windows, and I got tired of building my own computers. You know, that's what I used to do back in my CS days, back in college. Every 5 weeks we go to the computer show, get new parts, rebuild our rigs, because we were hardcore gamers back then, or at least I was. And then I just don't game anymore. I'm not a PC gamer, so I don't really care. So I just want my stuff to work. I don't care about trying to get max performance and then, you know, max value. It's not like I'm like gaming anymore. So I just bought another Mac Mini. I've been using a Mac Mini 2012 for several years now. Surprisingly, I render my videos on that, and it just got really slow, so I just got a 2018. I'm running an eGPU with that.
And instead of buying an iMac, I bought one Mac Mini and with an external GPU, simply because external GPUs give me the option to upgrade the video card if I need to, and I can still stick with OS 10. So I did consider a Hackintosh, but running OS 10 on a commodity Windows, a commodity PC, IBM PC compatible hardware, x86, whatever. I just didn't want to deal with that, because whenever Apple releases an update, you never know if your Hackintosh is going to break because it's not compatible with something they made, changes they made in drivers. So didn't want to deal with that. As much as that looked appealing, and I didn't want to have to waste my time trying to figure out what motherboard, what video cards are going to be working together best, and all that crap. So yeah, just getting too old to mess around with that crap. I know a lot of guys still do that, and it is amazingly enough in IT. I just don't really care to do that crap anymore. So anyway, that's why I still went with the Mac Mini 2018. So actually rendering is faster though. I tested it out with the eGPU, and it's significantly faster, especially with 4K. So should cut down my vlog time editing quite a bit actually. So anyway, that's it for today. Today is Saturday, May 11th. Tomorrow's Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to my mother and everyone out there, all your mothers. So just wish everyone a happy Mother's Day for tomorrow. And yeah, I need to get out of here because I need to change my oil, because I just realized I'm about due on this thing. So I got oil and oil filter at home, so I'm gonna drain the oil the second I get into the garage. Anyway, thanks for watching the vlog, and I'll see you in the next one.